This half will be Ignite, and this half will be Youth. Ready? On the count of 3, Ignite, Youth. 1, 2, 3. Ignite! Youth! Ignite! Youth! Everybody get excited? Come on. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. Well, my name is Josh Byers. I'm a senior at Meridian High School, and I was looking for my partner, Sage, but I don't know what she was doing, or... Oh, there she is. Sage. What?
Hey, guys. Sorry, I was busy saving the world just now.
Oh, it's a hard job saving the world.
Anyways, my name is Sage. I'm also a senior at Meridian High School.
All right, so tonight, let's thank Mountain View High School for letting us host Ignite Youth. Ignite Youth was put on by Mayor's Advisory Council of Meridian, so give them a big hand.
Okay, this evening's event is not only between the individual competitors, but also the schools that they represent. Our judges will decide a winner at the end of this competition. The winner will receive a Kindle Fire and also a trophy for the school that they attend for their trophy case.
We have 4 amazing judges tonight, so please give it up for Daniel Garcia from Nampa Mayor's Teen Council, Kyle Gravlin and Tamara Jolie from KIVI TV, and Mayor Kennedy here.
Okay, without further ado, I would like to introduce Miss Adrienne Casper. Adrienne works with the American Heart Association and was also involved with Ignite Boise too. Here's Adrienne.
Okay, so Ignite Youth, what is it? What are we all doing here? That is the question on your mind. So, if you had anything that you would say with 5 minutes on this very stage in front of you, lovely people, what would you say? And if you had 5 minutes and then squeeze it into a 5-minute presentation, 20 slides, what was it? Okay, so it started in Seattle in 2006 with this guy Brady, this guy Bree. They had an idea. They're going to get a bunch of smart people in a room and give them 5 minutes to say whatever they would want to say. And then it ignited, get it, from there. This is exactly where it's been. It's been in Portland, Denver, Bangalore, Dublin, Baltimore, Anchorage, Melbourne, all those places, and in your fair city, Meridian. Thank you. Interesting to note, and something that you guys should be really, really proud of, is this is the world. When I say the world, I don't just mean the United States or the civilized world or whatever. It is the world's only youth-only Ignite. We have 7 presenters tonight. There's been 7 Ignite Boise's and over 100 alumni, including myself. So what happens? Each speaker takes 5 minutes of a topic. They squeeze that into 20 slides, then spits out every 15 seconds, regardless if they want to or not. So they have to keep pace on every single slide like I'm doing now. So what we want them to do, we want them to enlighten us, inspire us, probably make us kind of mad, and engage us, engage the audience. But most of all, we want you to make us think, but we want it to make you do it fast. You don't think 15 seconds is a long time, but it is. If you have nothing to say, 15 seconds can be devastating. But if you have a lot to say, 15 seconds is like no time fast. So what we want to, so you get the idea when we talk about topics that inspire you, sometimes you'll get behind and there's 15 seconds and it goes like that, okay? So what is Ignite? For these guys over here, it's like getting on a soapbox and then pushing off into a plane. Ask the people that have done it before. If you were Ignite alum, let me hear it. Doesn't sound like So no Ignite would be complete without these people up here. Allison, that's a really good picture of her. Thank you to Meridian, Mountain View, excuse me, the mayor. So if you see them, make sure that you give them a hug. So these people down here are fine judges. They are here to judge you, so don't screw it up. So we have the mayor, a couple people from Canada, and some people from Nampa. So tonight, if you like what you heard, what you saw, I want you to brag about it tomorrow, tell people about it. Also, find a way to get involved next year. Maybe become a volunteer, or maybe become a sponsor. I know that you guys all have parents that own businesses. Dig down and find a great way to submit for next year. I can guarantee you there will be a time where you sit in your seat and go, you know what I would talk about? This is totally what I would do. I want you to do it. I want you to dig down deep inside. But again, do it in 5 minutes, because if not, you will hear this. That is how we will end it. And thank you very much.
Let's give another big round to Adrian. Woo! Okay, so next up, our first presenter tonight is Nicholas Ray. Give him a hand.
Hey, thanks, Adrian. As you just heard, my name is Nicholas Ray, and I'm doing my presentation on the zombie apocalypse and how to survive it in 3 easy steps. Well, that's not 30 seconds. Keep talking. Oh, do I go ahead? Wait. Tell us a joke. Hello, I know what you're thinking. Are zombies real? Well, it doesn't really matter if you are not prepared for it. I am here today to tell you the 3 easy steps of how you, that's right, you can survive the zombie apocalypse scar-free. First off, the 3 steps are avoidance, determination, and disposal. Tonight we're going to focus only on avoidance, because that is the most important issue in zombie apocalypse, is not even seeing them at all. Now you see, first off, we have to decide, what is a zombie? A zombie is a slow-moving, frail, communicates via grunts. You might actually confuse them with a Nickelback fan, but that is not the truth. They have pale skin, and their dexterity is somewhere between opening a door and a can of jar pickles. Now, as I said, they're slow-moving. This is due to the fact that over time, as they move, they're moving, their muscles start to degrade, which is not good because they no longer can regenerate cells because, well, they are technically dead. So that is one advantage you have over them when you're running away from them. But you see, because they're also frail and they're slow, you can pop off their arms relatively easy. So if you need to, you can crack them with a baseball bat right inside the head. Doesn't matter. That can lay them out flat. That's really helpful for when you're stuck in a corner and they're surrounding you. But you see, there still is a problem, because if you see one zombie, there is most likely more, as you can see. What happens is, if you see a zombie, if the zombie sees you, they go, "Aah!" and all their friends see that too. And all of a sudden they're all headed towards you, and you are stuck in a corner, surrounded by the hordes. Luckily, it takes them a while to get to you, because their dexterity is not good enough to drive a car. They have no hand-eye coordination, they can't see very well, it's just, they're a mess. Give them a break. So, as you can see, there's no zombie driving that car, but you never know. But we're going to talk tonight about the 5 stages of the zombie apocalypse. The first stage is the small stage. That's where you can find a small force of civilians that can usually take out the zombies. There's usually 1 to 10 in that situation. Usually it takes that much time, but most of the time there's a mistake. And that elevates into a stage 2. That's where local police forces are called in because humans are no longer able to handle it themselves without guns. Sadly, sometimes this gets out of hand as well. People try and get away. But then it elevates into a level 3. This is the National Guard is called in. You better be buried inside your houses at this point because they're after you. You have to be hiding at this point. National Guard hopefully will be able to handle them, but if not, you will come across stage 4. In stage 4, the zombies have officially taken over. Tammy the Weird is flown out of here. I don't know where she's hiding in some bunker. But you have to be sure that you're hiding as well and perfectly secure. But let's say somehow you have survived this point. Congratulations, you have made it to the 5th stage, which is by far the worst. But you have survived. They're all gone. All the zombies have decayed, but sadly, so has humanity. You're one of the last remaining living specimens on Earth, and sadly, you don't have much choice from this point on. Today we're going to talk about how to start on stage 3 of the zombie apocalypse. What you are going to need is a good hiding place to start. Make sure you have sufficient supplies and boredom busters. We're going to get back to boredom busters in a little bit. You see, when you're trying to find a place, location is the most important. Usually, you want to be elevated off ground. Zombies are not very physically fit. They cannot climb up to you. So if you're in a second story location, you're relatively safe. I mean, you can relax a little bit, but you still want to make sure you're very quiet, because a zombie can still hear you and attract those zombies and cause you a lot of frustration. Now, let's say you can't get to a large tree house or something like that. You can still use an attic. An attic is a great place to hide while you're quiet. You can also take a second story house, chop up the staircase like up on the balcony right up there. Great place. Or you can use a boat. But still, supplies are very important. You will need first aid. The biggest cause of death in a zombie apocalypse is actually humans from stupidity. When you get a wound, make sure you wrap it up. Make sure it's no longer exposed. It is the best way to make sure you will not get infected yourself by accident. Water is also very important. Agua. You see, water will eventually become very scarce. What you're going to want to do at the beginning, if you want to survive a little bit, you fill up your bathtubs. You fill up your bathtubs with water. What will happen at that point is, well, you'll have a small supply of water, maybe last you a few weeks, maybe a month, until the National Guard will hopefully take care of everything. You're still going to want to take care of food, though, because you got to stay nutritious. You can't eat all those Twinkies all the time. They're going to get to your waist. You're not going to be able to outrun the zombies if they do get to you, which is definitely not good. Eat well, stay fit. Now, boredom busters, you're going to be sitting up there a long time. It's not all thrills and scares. You just got to stay occupied. Maybe bring a puzzle. Maybe you should make a Rubik's Cube. You know, you just keep something to keep you occupied and keep your brain level focusing above that of the hordes around you. Now, we're talking about stage 1, termination. Bullet to the head, zombie be dead. When you want to get rid of a zombie body, don't burn it. That may actually include make the plague go on longer. Thank you, and have a great apocalypse.
Thank you, Nick. Hey, who wants a free t-shirt? Anybody? Okay, next up we have Lauren. And here's Lauren.
Hi guys, my name is Lauren Glenn, and I'm going to be talking on suicide prevention today. It's just going to sit there. That's cool. Alright, someone commits suicide every 14 seconds. Suicide is attempted every 40 seconds. 36,909 people in the United States lost their lives to suicide in 2009. Suicide is the 10th leading cause of death. It's third for youth ages 15 to 24. 4,371 youth killed themselves in 2009. That's 12 every day. A youth dies by suicide every hour and 53 minutes. An elderly person dies by suicide every hour and a half. 5,858 elderly killed themselves in 2009. That's 16 every day. The Army reported 244 suicides in 2009. They estimated that their suicide rate was 18 suicides per 100,000 soldiers. The Marine suicide rate was 24 suicides per 100,000 soldiers. Look at these people. These people have all committed suicide. They're all dead. But look at them. They look happy. They're smiling. You know why that is? It's because depression isn't always obvious, but suicide is. Some warning signs that someone might be thinking about committing suicide or planning to commit suicide are always talking or thinking about death, clinical depression such as deep sadness, loss of interest, trouble sleeping or eating, that gets worse. Having a death wish, tempting fate by taking risks that could lead to death, such as driving fast or running red lights, losing interest in things one used to care about, making comments about being hopeless, helpless, or worthless, putting affairs in order, tying up loose ends, changing a will, saying things like, it'd be better if I wasn't here, or I want out. Sudden, unexpected switch from being very sad to being very calm or appearing to be happy. Talking about suicide or killing oneself, visiting or calling people to say goodbye, giving away personal belongings. If someone close to you exhibits these signs, talk to them, listen to them, reach out to them. They need you. They need your help. Just so you know, someone might have a higher risk of suicide if they've had one or more suicide attempts, a family history of mental disorder or substance abuse, a family history of suicide, family violence, physical or sexual abuse, keeping firearms in the house, chronic physical illness or pain, incarceration, exposure to the suicidal behavior of others. If anybody you know has risk signs like these, please keep a close eye on them. If you spot the warning signs of suicide in someone you care about, you may wonder if it's all right to say anything. If you're unsure whether or not to say something to someone who may be suicidal, the best way to find out is ask. You can't make somebody suicidal by showing that you care. In fact, you may save their life. When you're talking to a suicidal person, you need to be yourself, let them know that you care and that you're not alone. You need to listen. You need to be sympathetic, non-judgmental, patient, calm, and accepting. You need to offer hope, and you need to take them seriously. But don't argue with the suicidal person. Don't act shocked. Don't lecture on the value of life or say that suicide is wrong. Do not swear to secrecy. Don't offer ways to fix their problems or give advice, and don't blame yourself. Show that you care. Connect the person to resources and a supportive, trusted adult. Accept and listen to the person's feelings and take them seriously. Respond if a person has a plan to attempt suicide and tell someone you trust. Empower the person to get help and call the suicide hotline. Men commit suicide more often than women, but women attempt suicide more often. For every 3 female attempts, there is 1 male death. Elderly white males are most likely to commit suicide. Lesbian, gay, bisexual youth are up to 4 times as likely to attempt suicide than their straight peers. Remember, you are never alone. You are not responsible for anyone who chooses to take their own life. As friends, family, and loved ones, all you can do is listen, support, and assist the person in getting the help that they need. If you are feeling down, talk to a family or friend about your feelings. Exercise or find a way to release negative energy. Start a journal. Writing can really help get out your feelings. Listen to music, dance, sing, make art, volunteer, do whatever makes you happy. Remember, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you or someone you know is suicidal, please call 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. And as the great Albus Dumbledore once said, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. Thank you for having me.
Woo! Give it up for her! Who wants a t-shirt? Okay, next up we have Noah Tashbook. Give it up for him.
Hi, my name is Noah Tashbook. On a slightly more positive note, I'll be talking to you about the number 25 and its impact on modern society. Like I said, 25 is a common number, and a lot of people might be thinking right now, why 25? That's really lame. Well, as we'll see in our presentation, 25 has lots of impacts and places where it fits in society. What is 25, you might be asking yourself? 25 is the 25th natural number. It comes directly after 24 and before 26. It is used in the base 10 number system. There's an image of the number 25. 25 has many mathematical properties. It's a perfect square of the number 5. 25 squared is equal to 625. And it has even more mathematical properties. 25 is a centered octagonal and square number. What that means is if you take 1 point and surround it by 4 or 8 points and continue to do that, it will add up evenly to 25 and create an octagon or a square. 25%, as shown on this pie chart, is equal to the common fraction 1/4, or 1 divided by 4. "25 is also the sum of the first 5 odd numbers. So 1 plus 3 plus 7 plus 9 equals 25. Feel free to check that on your phones. Where can 25 be found? Well, the number 25 can be found in lots of places. Thank you. Expect 25 of those. The number 25 can be found in chemistry. The element manganese is the 25th element on the periodic table. It has 25 protons and 25 electrons. The number 25 can also be found in America's favorite pastime, baseball. The number 25 is often reserved for the players jersey for the best slugger on the team. Some examples are Mark McGuire, Barry Bonds, and Mark Texeira. In a marriage, the 25th anniversary is usually known as the silver anniversary. A common gift is something made out of silver. It's not required, however. Many products or services celebrate their 25th anniversary, such as the Legend of Zelda video game franchise, Michael Jackson's The Thriller album, and Disney Pixar Corporation. In American currency, the most common coin used is the quarter. It is worth 25 American cents, 25 American pennies, or 25% of an American dollar. In Indian culture, the country of India, in Asia, not Native Americans, the national game of India, the Chisi, means 25 in Hindi. It gets its name from the highest possible score, which is, you might have guessed it, 25. Relating to American travel, Interstate 25 stretches from New Mexico to Wyoming and is one of the most traveled roads in the United States of America. For holidays, when you think of the number 25, you might instantly think December 25th, Christmas. But what a lot of people don't know is that the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah always falls on the 25th day of the Hebrew month of Kislev. On to space. The sun, which is the center of our solar system, rotates approximately once every 25 days. A lot of people didn't know this, but the sun also has an axis. It's true. Aside from being the most popular Pokemon, Pikachu, copyrighted, all rights reserved, is also the 25th Pokemon in the Pokédex, both in Japan and in America. 25 can be written in many forms. Here are just a few of them. It can be written in English, in Arabic numerals, Roman numerals, binary, and scientific notation. The number 25 is used all over the world in many languages, from Spanish to Russian to Gujarati to Greek and to Mandarin Chinese. They're written next to the language. It can also be written in Serbian, Norwegian, Polish, Hindi, and Albanian, and in almost every language found on the planet Earth. 25 is the best number of all time. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. I had no idea that the number 25 was used that much. Everywhere, pretty much. Next up we have Mariah Rayner, and is there anybody else who wants a shirt?
Alright, my name is Meridian, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about words that change the world. Thanks, Dad. Alright, so words that change the world. Today I'm going to be talking to you about famous speakers and their speeches or quotes. Some of these are going to be funny and, of course, taken out of context, which is what makes them so great. Alright, what is the point of this presentation, you might be asking yourself? Well, the point is to understand that one person, one speech, one book can affect change. Whether you be as attractive as King Henry VIII up there, or as bearded as Dostoevsky, you can make a difference. Why does the world change? First, it must be defined. The world, of course, I'm talking about humankind, humanity. The world changes by first questioning the truth. First, you must question why is the world this way? And you must have civil unrest, dare I say, public protest. Before the 16th century, Jesus of Nazareth represented the growth of Christianity and religion in general. Christopher Columbus had early exploration when he discovered the Americas, and this guy was an oxymoron and the dictator of the Republic. This is the purgatory and the Catholic Church. When the coin of the coffer rings, the soul from purgatory springs was a common phrase. King Henry VIII declared himself the only supreme head of the Church of England, and Zwingli required himself that the labor was closer to God. Martin Luther believed that the Catholic Church he felt freer now that he was certain the Pope was the Antichrist. Of course, he was talking about Pope Leo X, who was common with the arts but not so popular with the Church. Then you have the birth of existentialism with Shakespeare. He was the first to bring up the idea that existentialism could be a career, asking questions like, to be or not to be, that is the question. So parents, you can thank your children when they just tell you they want to be a philosophy major, you can thank this liberal. Some kids never go out of their existential phase. Voltaire was one of those kids, and he believed that a witty saying proves nothing. God is a comedian playing to an audience too afraid to laugh, and we must crusade against dogma, superstition, and prejudice. The meaning of life. Of course, I'm talking about money. The big one in economics was Adam Smith, the father of modern economics, and he believed that consumption was the sole purpose of production, and that the interest of the producer ought to be attended to, more than that of the consumer. Now for a little patriotism, I brought you our first president, George Washington. He believed that political parties are likely in the course of time to become potent engines by which cunning, ambitious, and unprincipled men will enable to subvert the power of the people. And then we come to Abraham Lincoln and the Gettysburg Address. We here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have new birth and freedom, government for the people, by the people, shall not perish from this earth. And now we come to JFK. He wanted to start his presidency off really strong because we were in the midst of a war. So in his inaugural speech, he said, "And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask what not America will do for you, but what we together can do for the freedom of man. And finally, whether you're a citizen of the world, ask of us the same high standards of strength and sacrifice that we ask of you." And now we come to Gandhi, and he sought to advocate for peace, just like the Beatles. And in his speech, he said that a man who's completely innocent offered himself as a sacrifice, it would be a perfect act. Now we come to the idea that humanitarianism is an expression of stupidity and cowardice. And of course, Hitler believed that. And instead of humanitarianism, he preached propaganda. By the use of propaganda, one can make even heaven seem like hell, or an extremely wretched life seem like paradise. Martin Luther was one of the most influential speakers in American history, and that was voted the most popular speech ever made in America. On a less serious note, I bring you the GOP candidates. First, Rick Santorum believes that corporations don't actually mind big government. Mitt Romney believes that he's not a big game hunter, he's always hunted small vermin, if you will. And Newt Gingrich looks a little like White Shrimp. Barack Hussein Obama. He warned America that Al-Qaeda is still a threat. We cannot somehow pretend that because Barack Hussein Obama got elected as president, suddenly everything is going to be okay. And on that note, I give you words of the world.
Woo, give it up to Mariah. Up next, we have Eli Neri.
Is just a little bit racist, and that's a little bit wrong. Now, basically to understand this, as a culture, we moved to this place where we basically think that we're better than the previous racism that we've had, but what has actually turned out is that we've become worse. I mean, over time, if you can classify racism over the age. In the 1800s, you had basically this imperialism that was done through America and also done through Britain and other large nations, where we basically said, we're better because our country is bigger. We're better than these other ethnicities, other races, because we're different than them. And that's kind of wrong. But then in the 1900s, we basically had this new form where we said, we're not racist, it's everyone else's fault, which is even worse when you think about it. And by doing that, we started to basically move towards this new movement. And that's what the 2000s became. The 2000s became the time where we basically said that racism is basically not our fault, it's not anyone's fault, it's because these people are different. And that's really where everything started to go wrong. And that brings us to now, where we have a new form of racism. the racism of being overly politically correct. I mean, we spent hundreds of... That is not a slide. Well, still regarding... This is going... Okay, so... There will be no dancing involved. But, again, talking about racism, since I guess I have time, I'm going to go with it. Okay, so, you know, you look at racism now, you have this new racism, this racism of being overly politically correct, where all you have to, where what basically happens is that as a culture, as a culture, we basically said that what we want to do is be politically correct, and by doing that, what we're doing is that we're stripping away the identities of nations of people, of ethnicities, of races and such. Being politically correct means that you never have to apologize for making generalizations as long as they sound positive. I mean, in previous generations, we would say that basically, you know, if you said something that was negative, that was wrong, but now you say something that's positive, even if it's a complete stereotype, that's okay. You know, and by what we've done is we've made our world this color-free zone. You know, we look at each other and we say, we're all exactly the same. And we're not. And that's good. That's a great thing. Because not everyone